My girlfriend posted photos with another man while I was away. I sent them to her conservative parents before confronting her. I'm sitting in a hotel room right now, and I honestly can't believe what just happened in the last 4 hours. So here's the situation. I've been with Chloe for almost 3 years. We moved in together about 18 months ago into my apartment that I've owned for 5 years. Things weren't perfect, but I thought we were solid. We talked about marriage. Her parents loved me. I had a ring picked out and was planning to propose around the holidays. I'm a software project manager and I travel maybe once a month for work. Usually just overnight trips, sometimes 2 nights max. This week I flew to Denver for a client presentation that was supposed to run Tuesday and Wednesday. Standard stuff. Chloe knew about it. She actually seemed weirdly excited when I left Monday morning, gave me this long hug, and told me to have fun networking. Last night around 9 p.m., I was in my hotel room going through emails when I decided to check Instagram. And there it was, posted about an hour earlier. A photo of Chloe at this stupidly expensive Italian place downtown. The kind of restaurant where you need reservations weeks in advance. She was wearing the black dress she said she was saving for something special. Sitting across from her was this guy I'd never seen before. Mid-40s, gray at the temples, wearing what was clearly a designer suit. They were both holding wine glasses, and the way they were looking at each other made my stomach turn. But the caption is what really got me. Perfect evening with the most special person in my life. The most special person in my life, with a freaking heart emoji. I sat there staring at my phone for probably 10 minutes. Then I did something that I'm still not sure was smart or stupid, but in the moment it felt absolutely right. I took screenshots. The photo, the caption, the timestamp showing it was posted while I was 1,200 miles away. Then I opened my messages and sent them directly to her parents. Now here's the thing about Richard and Elaine. They're old school. I mean really old school. They go to church twice a week. They didn't let Chloe date until she was 18. They've told me multiple times how proud they are that their daughter stayed pure and focused on her career, and how I was exactly the kind of stable, respectful man they hoped she'd find. So I sent them the screenshots with a simple message. Thought you should know what your daughter's up to while I'm working out of state. I didn't call Chloe, didn't text her, just sent the evidence to her parents and blocked her number. Blocked her on every platform. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, everything. Then I called my best friend Ben and told him what happened. He was pissed on my behalf, which honestly helped. We talked for about an hour while I tried to figure out my next move. Around 11 p.m. my time, my phone started ringing from unknown numbers. I didn't answer. Then my work email started getting messages from Chloe's personal email. The subject lines ranged from "please call me" to "this is not what it looks like" to "you're being insane." I haven't opened any of them. This morning I changed my flight. Instead of coming home Thursday afternoon, I'm flying back tonight on a red-eye. I land at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I've already called a locksmith who's meeting me at my apartment at 7 a.m. Ben's coming over at 8 a.m. with his truck. Her stuff is going into storage tomorrow. I'm changing the locks, and I'm putting a formal eviction notice together with a lawyer first thing in the morning. The guy in the photo, I did some digging. His name is Harris and he works at the same marketing firm where Chloe just got promoted 3 months ago. According to his LinkedIn, he's their VP of Client Relations, married with 2 kids. I found his wife's Facebook in about 30 seconds. I haven't done anything with that information yet, but I have it. Read it. I know this is messy. I know some of you will probably tell me I should have confronted her first or that going to her parents was too far. But something just snapped when I saw that photo, the smugness of it, the public nature of it, like she didn't even care who saw. I'll update tomorrow after I get home and see what's waiting for me. Right now I need to try to sleep for a few hours before my flight. Edit. I'm at the gate now waiting to board. I've read through a lot of your comments and I appreciate the support. To everyone telling me to lawyer up immediately, I'm already on it. My brother actually knows a family law attorney and I've got a call scheduled for 9 a.m. I'll update once I'm home and have dealt with whatever's waiting for me there. Update 1. Okay, so I'm writing this from my living room and I genuinely cannot believe the last 12 hours of my life. I landed at 6:15 a.m. The locksmith was already waiting in the parking lot when I pulled up at 6:50 a.m. Professional guy, didn't ask questions, just changed the locks on my door and made me 3 new keys. Gave me the old lock in a bag in case I needed it for legal purposes. The whole thing took maybe 20 minutes. Then I went inside. Her stuff was everywhere. I mean, I knew she'd made the place her own over the last year and a half, but seeing it all with fresh eyes after what she did just made me angry all over again. Ben showed up right at 8 a.m. like he promised, and he brought his girlfriend Amber too. She took one look at my face and gave me this huge hug and said, "We're getting her shit out of here today." I almost lost it right there, not gonna lie. We worked fast. Ben had grabbed about 20 boxes from a hardware store on his way over. We started with the bedroom, all her clothes, shoes, jewelry, everything into boxes. Then the bathroom. Then the living room. Every single thing that was hers went into a box. I wasn't trying to be cruel about it, but I also wasn't being careful. If it broke, it broke. Around 10 a.m., my phone started ringing from an unknown number again. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. It was Richard, Chloe's dad. "Liam, we need to talk about this situation." His voice was tight, controlled. The way he sounds when he's really angry but trying not to show it. I stayed calm. "What situation would that be, Richard?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those photos you sent last night. Elaine's been crying all morning. Chloe is devastated." This has gotten completely out of hand. I actually laughed, couldn't help it. "Devastated, she's devastated. Did you look at the photos, Richard? Did you read her caption?" There was a pause, then she explained everything. "It was a work dinner with her mentor. You're overreacting and you're making her look bad over a misunderstanding." "Her mentor," I repeated. "That's what she told you." "Harris has been helping her navigate her new position at the company. It's completely professional. The fact that you would immediately assume the worst and try to turn her own parents against her instead of talking to her like an adult says a lot about you, Liam." I put the phone on speaker so Ben and Amber could hear. Ben's eyes went wide. "Richard, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer honestly. If Elaine posted a photo of herself at a romantic restaurant with another man, wearing her best dress, captioned 'perfect evening with the most special person in my life' with a heart emoji, while you were out of town, would you think it was a professional work dinner?" Silence. "That's what I thought. And just so we're clear, I'm not trying to turn you against your daughter. I sent you evidence of what she was doing because I thought you deserved to know what kind of person she's become. What you do with that information is up to you. You need to forgive her, Liam. She's young, she made a mistake. Relationships require forgiveness, and I'm not having this conversation, Richard. I'm quite busy removing her belongings from my apartment. She's no longer welcome in my home." There was a sharp intake of breath. "What? You're kicking her out? Where is she supposed to go?" "That's not my problem. She moved into my apartment. Her name isn't on the deed or any utilities. And now that the relationship is over, it's time for her to go. You can't just kick her out." His voice rose. "Over a misunderstanding. I'm removing someone from my private property who publicly humiliated me while I was working. And honestly, if this really is just a misunderstanding like she claims, she can explain it to me through a lawyer." I hung up before he could respond. Ben just looked at me and said, "Dude, ice cold, I'm kind of impressed." We kept packing. Around noon, Elaine called. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail begging me to reconsider and show some forgiveness. Deleted it. By 2 p.m., we had everything of hers packed into boxes and bags. All of it stacked in the second bedroom. Ben helped me take photos of everything for documentation. Around 4 p.m., my building security called. Said there was a woman named Chloe in the lobby claiming to live here and demanding to be let up. I told them she no longer has access and to ask her to leave the property. 10 minutes later, my phone exploded with texts from her email because I still had her blocked everywhere else. "I can't believe you changed the locks. This is my home too. You can't just kick me out. I'm calling the police," I responded once. "You'll receive formal eviction notice within 24 hours. Your belongings are packed and can be retrieved with advanced notice and police escort. Do not attempt to enter the property." At 6 p.m., the lawyer my brother recommended called me back. Her name's Jennifer. I explained the whole situation. She said I'd done everything basically correctly, but I needed to serve the eviction notice properly and be prepared for potential pushback. She also said that Chloe has no legal claim to my apartment whatsoever. No common law marriage in our state, no cohabitation rights since her name isn't on anything, nothing. She's legally just been a guest who's now being asked to leave. Jennifer's drafting a formal eviction notice for me tonight. Should have it tomorrow. It's almost 8 p.m. now. I ordered food for the first time today, and I'm sitting here in my apartment that finally feels like just mine again. All her stuff is in one room ready to go. Locks are changed. Legal process is started. My phone is still getting emails from Chloe. I haven't read most of them, but the preview text on the notifications has ranged from apologetic to angry to threatening. I'm saving everything for documentation. Some of you asked about Harris. I haven't contacted his wife yet. Part of me thinks I should. Part of me thinks it's not my circus. I'm still deciding. Tomorrow I'm meeting with Jennifer in person to go over everything and make sure I'm completely covered legally. Then I'm having the eviction notice served. I feel weirdly calm right now. Like I thought I'd be more emotional about ending a 3-year relationship, but mostly I just feel relieved and angry, but in a cold, focused way. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. I'll keep updating as this continues to unfold. Update 2. This is going to be long, but you all need to hear what happened tonight because I legitimately cannot make this up. So this afternoon around 3 p.m., Jennifer, my lawyer, came by to deliver the formal eviction notice. She drafted it perfectly, professional, airtight. But then Jennifer suggested something. She said given the circumstances and Chloe's increasingly unhinged emails, it might be smart to have a witness present when the notice is delivered, and maybe even install a security camera at my door. You know, just in case things got messy. I thought she was being overly cautious. Turns out she was exactly right. I spent the afternoon setting up a video doorbell, one of those Ring ones that records everything. Got it installed and synced to my phone by 5 p.m. Jennifer left around 5:30 p.m. after going over the final documents with me. Around 7:15 p.m., I was making dinner when I got a motion alert from the new doorbell camera. I pulled it up on my phone and my stomach dropped. Chloe was in the hallway, but she wasn't alone. Harris was with her, the guy from the photo, and there was another younger guy, Tyler, Chloe's younger brother. He's 25 and has always been weirdly protective of her. All three of them were standing outside my door. Chloe was gesturing animatedly, clearly explaining something to the other two. I couldn't hear through the camera, but I could see Harris looking uncomfortable and Tyler looking pissed. Then Chloe knocked, loud, aggressive. "Liam, I know you're in there. Open the door. We need to talk." I stayed quiet. Pulled up the camera feed on my laptop so I could see and record better. She knocked again. "Liam, this is ridiculous. You can't just lock me out of my own home. I brought witnesses. Open the damn door." Witnesses. She brought witnesses to what exactly? Intimidate me. Tyler stepped up to the camera. "Dude, seriously, just open up. We're not leaving until you talk to her." Harris looked like he wanted to be literally anywhere else. I made a decision. I opened the door but kept the chain lock on. Chloe's face when she saw me was a mixture of relief and anger. "Finally, what the hell, Liam? You blocked me everywhere. You changed the locks, you." "Stop," I said. My voice came out calmer than I felt. "You need to leave, now. This is my apartment too." "No, it's not. It's my apartment. Your name isn't on the deed or any utilities. You've been living here as my guest, and now I'm asking you to leave." Harris shifted uncomfortably. Tyler looked confused, like this wasn't the narrative Chloe had sold him. "You can't just kick me out." Chloe's voice was rising. "I live here. My stuff is here. Your stuff is packed and ready for pickup. You'll receive a formal eviction notice tomorrow giving you 30 days to make other arrangements, but you're not coming back inside this apartment." That's when Tyler stepped forward, trying to look threatening. "Man, you're being a real asshole about this." She made a mistake, okay? Just talk to her like an adult. I almost laughed. A mistake? Is that what she told you? That dinner with Harris here was a mistake. Harris flinched at the sound of his name. Oh, this was getting good. Chloe's eyes went wide. How do you know his name? I know a lot of things, Chloe. I know Harris is your VP of Client Relations. I know he's married with 2 kids. I know his wife's name is Amanda and she has no idea her husband is taking his mentee to $200 a plate restaurants and letting her post romantic photos on Instagram. The color drained from Harris's face, like literally went pale. Tyler looked between Chloe and Harris. Wait, what? I thought you said he was just a work friend who could vouch for you. He is just a work friend, Chloe was almost shouting now. Liam's twisting everything. It was one dinner, a professional dinner. Then why did you caption it perfect evening with the most special person in my life? I asked, calm, steady. Why didn't you mention you were having dinner with a work friend before I left town? Harris took a step back. I think I should go. Yeah, I said, that's probably smart. Chloe grabbed his arm. No, don't leave, you're supposed to be helping me. He shook her off. I didn't sign up for this. I thought we were just going to talk to him, not this. He looked at me. Look, man, it was just a professional dinner, that's all. I'm her mentor at work. Does Amanda know you mentor your employees over candle-lit dinners? His jaw clenched. Then he turned and walked toward the elevator without another word. Chloe watched him go, looking betrayed. Then she rounded on me. You're going to regret this. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screen. Jennifer's number was dialed and ready to call. I have a lawyer on speed dial. I have video evidence of you harassing me at my private residence. If you don't leave right now, I'm calling the police for trespassing. Tyler grabbed her arm. Come on, Chloe, this isn't working. Let's go. She jerked away from him. No, my stuff is in there. 3 years of my life is in there. Your stuff will be available for pickup, I said. With advanced notice and a police escort. You can coordinate through my lawyer. I held up the eviction notice that Jennifer had left with me. This is your copy. You're being formally notified to vacate in 30 days. I pushed it through the gap in the door. It fell at her feet. She stared at it like it was a snake. Then she looked back up at me and I swear I saw the moment she realized she'd lost. I loved you, she said quietly. No, you didn't. I closed the door, locked it. Watched on the camera as Tyler picked up the notice and pulled Chloe toward the elevator. She was crying now, real tears, but I felt nothing. They left at 7:47 p.m. I have the whole thing on video. I called Jennifer immediately and sent her the footage. She was actually pleased, said it would help if Chloe tried to claim I was being hostile or unreasonable. The video clearly shows me staying calm while Chloe escalated. It's 10 p.m. now and I'm still wired. I keep thinking about Harris's face when I mentioned his wife, about Tyler's confusion when he realized his sister had lied to him, about Chloe crying in the hallway. Tomorrow the eviction notice gets officially served. I'm also filing a police report about tonight's incident just to have it on record. Jennifer suggested it, and I think I'm going to reach out to Amanda, Harris's wife. She deserves to know what her husband is doing. I'll update again if anything else happens. Thanks for sticking with me through this, Reddit. Final update. I promised I'd update you all one more time, so here we go. First, the immediate aftermath. The eviction notice was officially served the morning after Chloe showed up with Harris and her brother. Process server got her at her parents' house. According to him, she took one look at the papers and slammed the door in his face. Professional. That same day, I contacted Amanda, Harris's wife. I sent her a private Facebook message with screenshots of the Instagram post, the original photo, and a brief explanation of who I was and how I knew her husband. I kept it factual, not emotional. Just, I thought you should know what your husband has been doing. She responded within an hour. Asked if we could talk on the phone. We did. It was one of the most awkward conversations of my life, but she deserved the truth. Turns out she'd had suspicions for a while. Late nights at the office, sudden business dinners, being protective of his phone. The usual red flags. She was devastated but also relieved to finally have proof. 3 days later, Harris was asked to resign from the marketing firm. I don't know all the details, but apparently Amanda went directly to his company's HR with everything. The firm has a strict fraternization policy, especially between senior leadership and junior staff. Harris violated about 6 different company policies by taking Chloe to that dinner. He's gone now. From what I heard through mutual connections, he's also separated from Amanda and living in a corporate apartment while they figure out their marriage. Chloe got reassigned. Different team, different supervisor, basically demoted without the title change. I guess the company couldn't fire her outright without risking a lawsuit, but they made it clear she wasn't welcome in her current position. As for Chloe's stuff, she picked it up 2 weeks ago. Showed up with her dad and Tyler, a rental truck, and zero acknowledgement of me. I'd arranged for a police officer to be present as a witness, one of Jennifer's suggestions that turned out to be smart because Chloe tried to claim several things in the apartment were hers that definitely weren't. The officer shut that down quick. Everything was out in 4 hours. She left her key to my building on the counter, didn't say a word to me the entire time, just walked out. Her parents have stopped calling. I think they finally accepted what actually happened. Elaine sent me one final text saying she was disappointed in how I handled things but hoped I'd find peace. I didn't respond. The apartment is fully mine again. I repainted the bedroom, got rid of those decorative pillows I hated, rearranged furniture. It feels like my space for the first time in years. It's weird how much lighter everything feels without her presence here. I've been going to the gym more, reconnecting with friends I'd lost touch with while I was with Chloe, even went on a couple dates. Nothing serious yet, but it's nice to remember what it's like to talk to someone who doesn't make you question reality. Ben and Amber have been incredible through all this. They took me out for drinks last weekend, and we actually laughed about the whole thing. Ben said watching me shut the door in Chloe's face was the most gangster thing he'd ever seen me do. Amber said I should be proud of how I handled it with evidence and legal backup instead of emotions and drama. I am proud, actually. I could have screamed, could have confronted Chloe publicly, could have done a lot of messy things. Instead, I documented everything, followed legal procedures, and protected myself. It wasn't about revenge. It was about boundaries and self-respect. Some fallout is still happening. I heard through the grapevine that Chloe and Harris actually tried to keep seeing each other for a bit after everything blew up, but Amanda's divorce lawyer got involved, and now there's a clause about contact with affair partners. So that ended real quick. Last I heard, Harris is trying to reconcile with Amanda, and Chloe's living with her parents and looking for a new job. The ring I'd picked out, returned it last week. Got about 70% of what I paid back. Used the money to book a trip to Iceland with Ben and his girlfriend this winter. Figured I should do something for myself. I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. I wake up in my own apartment, answer to nobody, and don't have to wonder if someone's lying to me. The peace is worth more than the relationship ever was. To everyone who supported me through this, thank you. I think I'm going to step away from updating this now. This chapter of my life is closed. Time to write the next one. Edit. Since people keep asking, yes, Chloe tried to reach out a few days ago through a mutual friend asking if we could talk one more time. I declined. There's nothing left to say. Sometimes the trash takes itself out, you just have to be willing to change the locks. My 28M, girlfriend 26F, humiliated me at my mom's birthday party. Her reaction to what I did next told me everything I needed to know. Long post ahead, but I need to give you the full picture. Some background. I've been with Melissa for about 18 months. I run a small e-commerce business that I started 2 years ago. It's just me right now, but it's actually doing pretty well. I specialize in custom outdoor gear and camping accessories, and last year I cleared about $85K in revenue. Not huge money, but for a one-person operation starting from scratch, I'm proud of what I've built. Melissa has always made little jokes about me being a one-man empire or CEO of myself, which I mostly laughed off because I thought she was just teasing. She works in marketing for a mid-sized tech company, makes decent money, and I always got the impression she thought her corporate job was more legitimate than my business. When people ask what she does, she says, "I work in tech." When they ask what I do, she usually says something like David has his little business, or he's an entrepreneur in this tone that makes it sound like I'm selling MLM products out of my car. Looking back, I should have paid more attention to these comments. But honestly, business has been good enough that I figured once I hire my first employee or hit 6 figures, she'd take it more seriously. My family is pretty traditional. My parents worked their asses off to give me and my sister opportunities. Respect and dignity mean everything to them, especially when it comes to work and family. They've always supported my business, even when it was just me selling stuff out of my garage. My dad helped me set up my books correctly, and my mom still asks about my inventory levels every time I visit. They understand what it means to build something from nothing, and they've never made me feel like my business was less important because it's small. That's probably why what happened Saturday hurt so much. So Saturday was my mom's 55th birthday. We had about 30 people over, family, some family friends, my mom's book club ladies, a few neighbors. Nothing fancy, but it meant a lot to my parents. Melissa seemed completely normal that day. She brought flowers for my mom, helped set up the buffet table, chatted with my relatives about her job. Everything felt fine. Better than fine, actually. I was proud to have her there, meeting extended family members she hadn't met yet. The party was going great. It was exactly the kind of family gathering my parents love. I was in full networking mode, I guess, talking to everyone, making sure people felt welcome, helping my dad with the grill, taking pictures of my mom with different groups of friends and family. Here's where it gets messed up. About an hour and a half into the party, I'm talking to my Uncle Stan when my cousin Jake comes up to me laughing and points to my back. "Dude, what's that on your back?" I reach around and feel paper. I manage to grab a corner and peel it off. It's a professionally made sign, not just scribbled on notebook paper, but actual printed letters on white cardstock with black marker borders. It says "We'll work for food" in big block letters that you could read from across the room. My stomach just dropped. I stood there holding this sign, and the conversation around me got quiet. Jake was still chuckling, but he stopped when he saw my face. Uncle Stan looked confused and uncomfortable. That's when I looked around and realized Melissa was about 15 feet away, holding her phone up, clearly taking pictures of me discovering the sign. She wasn't even trying to hide it. When our eyes met, she grinned and gave me a little wave. The worst part, this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. She had planned this. Made the sign ahead of time, waited for the right moment, stuck it on my back, and then spent however long taking pictures of me walking around talking to my family members while wearing it. Read it, I've never felt humiliation like that. It wasn't just the embarrassment, it was the betrayal. This was my mom's birthday party, in my parents' home. In front of people who have known me since I was a kid, people who respect hard work and would never dream of making someone the butt of a joke like that. I didn't say anything in the moment. I just crumpled up the sign, shoved it in my pocket, and tried to continue with normal conversation. But the damage was done. I could see the confusion in my parents' eyes when they glanced over at me. My sister looked mortified when she saw what was happening. A couple uncles who don't really know Melissa well were giving me these looks like, "What the hell, man?" But the absolute worst part was that Melissa was still taking pictures. Even after I'd found the sign, even after I'd clearly discovered what she'd done, she was still standing there with her phone out, documenting my reaction. The party continued, but the energy was completely different, at least for me. I felt like I was performing for the rest of the afternoon, pretending everything was normal while internally dying of embarrassment. Melissa, on the other hand, acted like nothing had happened. If anything, she seemed energized, like she'd pulled off some brilliant prank. She was more social than usual, moving between groups, clearly enjoying herself. At one point, I saw her showing her phone to my cousin's wife, Sarah, both of them looking at the screen and giggling. When I walked by to refill my drink, I heard Sarah say, "Oh my God, that's hilarious. He had no idea." "None at all," Melissa replied. "Look how serious he looks talking to your uncle about business stuff. I got like 12 good shots." That night after we got home, she was still on her phone showing me comments from her friends. "Look, Marcus put the crying, laughing emoji." She seemed genuinely confused when I didn't think it was funny. I told her it wasn't appropriate, especially at a family event. She rolled her eyes and said I was being dramatic and that it was just a harmless prank. When I explained how it looked to my family, she said they should lighten up and that I'm successful enough now that I can take a joke. That's when I realized something. This wasn't a harmless prank. This was her way of cutting me down in front of people whose opinions matter to me. Whether she meant it that way or not, that's what happened. I didn't sleep much that night. By morning, I'd made my decision. I know some of you will think I'm overreacting, but I don't care. Respect is everything to me, and if someone can't give me that basic level of dignity, especially in front of my family, then we're not compatible. Edit. A lot of people are asking what I did next. I'll update you all once everything is settled. Thanks for the support so far. For those asking about the post, yes, that's right, she posted it on Instagram and it's still up. 47 likes and a bunch of laughing emojis. The caption says, "Serving your boyfriend a reality check, update 1. Holy shit, you guys." The response to my original post has been overwhelming. Thank you to everyone who validated that I wasn't overreacting. So here's what happened. Monday morning, I called Premier Moving Services and explained my situation. I told them I needed an emergency move, specifically to relocate one person's belongings from a shared apartment. I spent Monday afternoon going through the apartment methodically, identifying everything that belonged to Melissa. Clothes, toiletries, that expensive skincare routine she's always talking about, her yoga mat, even some furniture she'd moved in over the past year. I made a detailed list and took photos of everything for documentation. The moving company scheduled the pickup for Tuesday at 7 a.m. Melissa usually doesn't wake up until around 8:30, so timing worked perfectly. I want to be clear about something. I didn't throw her stuff away or damage anything. I'm not that guy. Everything was packed carefully and moved to a storage unit that I paid for through the end of the month. I even included a note with the storage unit address and access code. But here's where it gets intense. The movers were incredibly efficient. By 7:45 a.m., they'd cleared out everything that belonged to her. I'm talking clothes from the closet, makeup from the bathroom, her laptop charger, everything. The apartment looked completely different. At 8:15, I heard Melissa stirring. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my coffee, going through emails like any normal morning. She stumbled to the bathroom first, still half asleep. Then I heard, "What the hell, where's my stuff?" She came out to the living room and just stood there looking around. The realization hit her in stages. First confusion, then panic, then this look of complete disbelief. "David, where are my things? Where's my dresser? Where are my clothes?" I stayed calm. "Your belongings have been moved to a storage unit. Here's the address and the access code." I handed her the note I'd prepared. The reaction was immediate and explosive. She started screaming about how I couldn't just throw her out and demanding to know what moving company I used. When I told her I wasn't required to give her that information, she threatened to call the police. "Go ahead," I said. "You'll find that everything was handled legally. You're not on the lease, you don't pay rent, and I documented everything that was moved." That's when she started crying. Not sad crying, angry, frustrated crying. She kept saying, "This is insane, and you're being psychotic over a stupid joke." But here's the thing that really got to me. Even while she's crying and calling me psychotic, she still didn't seem to understand what she'd done wrong. She kept minimizing it as just a prank and saying I was ruining our relationship over nothing. I finally told her, "Melissa, you humiliated me in front of my family. You made fun of my work, my business, and my character in front of people I love and respect. Then you posted it online for your friends to laugh at. That's not a prank, that's cruelty." Her response: "Everyone thought it was funny. My family didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was funny. The only people who thought it was funny were your Instagram followers who don't even know me. She tried a different approach then, apologies, promises to delete the post. She said she didn't realize it would hurt me that much and that she just thought it was cute. But you know what she didn't do? She didn't take responsibility. Not really. Every apology came with a but. I'm sorry, but you're overreacting. I'm sorry, but it was just for fun. I'm sorry, but you never told me you were this sensitive. The storage unit thing really seemed to break her brain. She kept asking how I could have planned something so elaborate without talking to her first. Like, lady, you planned that whole Instagram humiliation without talking to me first, but I'm the problem. She's been blowing up my phone since she left to get her car and drive to the storage unit. Apparently seeing all her stuff in boxes really drove the point home that this is serious. The messages have gone from angry to sad to angry again. She's called me everything from controlling to vindictive to emotionally abusive. She's also apparently told our mutual friends that I kicked her out with no warning over a harmless joke. But here's what's interesting. She's also been posting Instagram stories all day about toxic masculinity and men who can't take a joke. The cognitive dissonance is real. I'm honestly relieved. Her reaction to consequences for her actions has shown me exactly who she is. The fact that she still can't understand why what she did was wrong tells me everything I need to know about her character. Edit. To address some common questions. Yes, I'm sure this is what I want. The moving company thing might seem extreme, but I wanted her to understand that actions have consequences. The Instagram post is still up. She hasn't deleted it despite promising to. My sister just texted me. Apparently Melissa called her asking for my mom's number because she wants to explain her side to my family. My sister told her no and asked her not to contact our family again. The audacity is unreal. Update 2. I cannot believe I'm writing this update. The situation has gone completely off the rails. So Wednesday evening, I got a call from my dad around 6 p.m. He sounded tired and frustrated, which is really unusual for him. David, your girlfriend came to the house today. My stomach dropped. What do you mean she came to the house? Apparently, after my sister refused to give Melissa my parents' contact information, she decided to just show up at their door during dinner time. According to my dad, she was very upset and wanted to make things right with my family. She asked if she could come in and explain what really happened, because she was sure there had been a misunderstanding. My mom, being the gracious person she is, let her in. They sat in the living room while Melissa gave them her version of events. Here's what she told my parents. She said that I had completely overreacted to what was meant to be a playful, loving gesture between couples. She claimed that the sign was supposed to be cute, and that everyone at the party was laughing with me, not at me. She said I was too sensitive, and that she was worried about my mental health, because my reaction was so extreme and disproportionate. But here's the kicker. She told my parents that she was concerned about my stability, and that moving her things out was a sign that I might be having some kind of breakdown. She suggested that maybe they should talk to me about getting help. My father, God bless him, listened to all of this patiently. Then he asked her one simple question. If your boyfriend put a sign on your back that said something embarrassing and then posted pictures of you online without your permission, how would you feel? According to my dad, she got defensive immediately. Started talking about how that's different because I'm a man and should be able to handle a joke. She said that men who can't laugh at themselves are insecure, and that she was actually trying to help me be less uptight. My mother, who has been nothing but polite to Melissa, apparently had enough at that point. Young lady, she said, you humiliated my son in our home in front of our family and then you put it on the internet for strangers to laugh at. Now you come to our house without being invited to tell us that he's the problem. I think you should leave. Melissa tried to backtrack, saying she didn't mean to offend anyone and that she just wanted to clear the air. But my dad stood up and walked to the door. You've cleared the air, he said. Please don't come back to our home uninvited. Reddit, I've never been more proud of my parents. They've always been people who choose kindness and giving others the benefit of the doubt, but they also don't tolerate disrespect. But it gets worse. After she left my parents' house, Melissa drove straight to my apartment. She used her old key to let herself in. I got home from work around 7:30 to find her sitting on my couch, crying. "We need to talk," she said. I was honestly shocked that she was there. "Melissa, you can't just let yourself in here anymore. We're broken up." That's when she completely lost it. Started screaming about how I was destroying her life and turning everyone against her. She said that I was being cruel and manipulative, and that the moving company thing was financial abuse because now she had to pay storage fees. I stayed calm and told her she needed to leave immediately. I also asked for her key back. She refused, said she wouldn't leave until we worked this out like adults. She kept saying that relationships require compromise and that I was being stubborn by not accepting her apology. Here's the thing that really bothered me. She was talking about her apology like it was some generous gift she was offering me. Like I should be grateful that she was willing to say sorry for humiliating me. I told her, "Melissa, you showed up at my parents' house uninvited after my sister specifically told you not to contact our family. You let yourself into my apartment without permission. You're not apologizing, you're escalating." Her response was to accuse me of playing the victim and to insist that everything would be fine if I would just get over it and move on. At that point, I told her I was calling the police if she didn't leave immediately and return the key. She finally left, but not before throwing the key at my feet and telling me that I'm going to regret this, and that I'm not the catch I think I am. The whole thing left me feeling drained and honestly a little shaken. Not because I doubted my decision, but because I realized I'd been dating someone who was completely incapable of taking responsibility for her actions. This morning, I changed my locks anyway. I also blocked her number and all her social media accounts. Edit. Several people have asked about the Instagram post. I checked through a friend's account, it's still up. She's also posted several stories about manipulative men and emotional abuse. The irony is apparently lost on her. Final update. I was hoping I wouldn't need to post another update, but Melissa decided to provide one final demonstration of why I made the right choice. This happened yesterday, Thursday, and honestly, if someone had told me 3 weeks ago that my relationship would end with police reports and storage unit drama, I would have laughed. I got a call from the storage facility around 2 p.m. The manager explained that someone matching the description I'd provided Melissa had shown up and used the access code to get into the storage unit. Apparently, Melissa had expected the storage facility to help her load everything into her car, and when they explained that wasn't their service, she started shouting about how I had trapped her belongings and that the whole situation was designed to make her life difficult. She was pretty worked up, the manager said. Started saying something about emotional abuse and financial manipulation. She wanted us to call you and force you to come help her move her stuff out. When we said we couldn't do that, she threatened to call the police. He was calling to let me know what had happened and to ask if I wanted to add any notes to the account about the situation. "Just note that she has legitimate access to her belongings," I told him, "but I'm not responsible for helping her transport anything. That's between her and whatever moving service she wants to hire." About an hour later, my phone started blowing up with texts from a number I didn't recognize. Turned out Melissa had gotten a new phone number and was messaging me from that. The messages were a lot. I'm talking novels. Long paragraphs about how I was ruining her life and making her homeless. She's been staying with her sister since Tuesday. Accusations that I was stealing her stuff by putting it in storage. But the one that really got me was when she said that my parents were obviously controlling and had turned me against her. I didn't respond to any of the messages. Then, around 6 p.m., I got a call from my buddy Marcus, who works at the police station. Apparently, Melissa had filed a report claiming that I had illegally evicted her and stolen her property. Marcus explained that since she wasn't on the lease, paid no rent, and had no legal claim to residency, there was nothing they could do. He also mentioned that the officers she spoke with found her behavior concerning and suggested she might want to take some time to cool down. But here's the part that really shows you who Melissa is as a person. She posted about the police station visit on Instagram. I'm not kidding. She posted a selfie from the parking lot of the police station with a caption about fighting for justice and standing up to financial abuse. She tagged it with "Never settle and know your worth." The cognitive dissonance is breathtaking. In her mind, she's the victim of this story. A woman who humiliated her boyfriend publicly, refused to take responsibility, showed up uninvited to his parents' home, broke into his apartment, and then tried to manipulate the police, and she still thinks she's somehow the wronged party here. This morning, my phone rang from her new number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "David, we need to talk," Melissa said. Her voice was shaky, like she'd been crying. "Melissa, I've blocked your other number for a reason. Please just listen to me. I know I made mistakes, but you're destroying everything we had over nothing. I loved you. I still love you. Can't we just know, Melissa?" I cut her off. "There's no we here anymore. And I want you to listen to me really carefully. I've been documenting everything. Every text, every Instagram post, every time you violated my boundaries. I have recordings. I have witnesses to you harassing my family." "What are you saying?" I took a deep breath. "I'm saying that if you contact me, my family, or anyone associated with me again, if you show up at my apartment, my parents' house, my workplace, or anywhere I might be, I will file for a restraining order. And with the evidence I have of your behavior over the past week, I'm confident I'll get it. You wouldn't try me. I gave you every opportunity to handle this like an adult. You chose to escalate at every turn. Do you really want to find out how far this can go?" The silence stretched on for nearly 30 seconds. When she finally spoke, her voice was different, smaller. I thought we had something special." "We did, and you destroyed it yourself. Don't contact me again, Melissa. I mean it." I hung up and immediately blocked the new number. Some of you have asked if I miss her or if I have any regrets. Honestly, I miss the idea of who I thought she was. I miss the relationship I thought we had. But I don't miss the person she actually turned out to be. I'm keeping the storage unit paid through the end of next month as promised. After that, she'll need to figure out her own arrangements. I've done more than enough. I'm closing this chapter and moving forward. Melissa can keep her Instagram stories about toxic masculinity and emotional abuse. I'll keep my self-respect and my family's trust. Edit. A few people have asked about the mutual friends situation. Most of them have stayed out of it, which I respect. The ones who have reached out have been supportive. Apparently, Melissa's version of events hasn't been as convincing to people who actually know me as she hoped it would be. Thanks again, Reddit. Time to move on to better things.